Do you guys ever just get so overstimulated anymore? Like, not anymore. It's like recently. Like, what am I talking about? I feel like I get so overstimulated so easily to a point where I'm like, I just literally can't even deal with this environment anymore. Like, I literally have to excuse myself. Let's get, what the fuck, bro? Like, I just literally burped 7 times in a row. What are we doing? I have a love-hate relationship with myself right now, and I want to talk about it. You know, I feel like I'm always too hard on myself, and I need to give myself a little bit of grace and credit for how much I have been doing and how much I do for myself and how much effort I put into my life, because sometimes I just feel like I'm hard on myself. And so I feel guilty for doing things that are quote unquote bad, if you will. I know that's a terrible adjective, but what I'm trying to say is that I want to be more open to the universe, which that came out of left field, but just roll with me here for a second. I feel like life can get really cookie cutter. You know what I mean? Like, you're expected to be here and do these exact things. But I don't know. I just need to let my guard down a little bit more and open up just a little bit more. 'Cause I feel like I say I'm open, but I'm not really open to receiving, because I think I'm afraid. I think I'm afraid of my own potential, which is weird, because why would I be afraid of that? I don't know. I'm scared I'm going to get somewhere and I won't be able to handle it anymore. You know, I won't be able to handle the hard better. I think I've also been going through this phase of really loving myself, really committing to loving myself. And there's some hard decisions that I need to make for myself in order to really discover that, in order to really unpack it. I have to be willing to sacrifice some things, and I have to be willing to put up stronger boundaries. And there's just such a difference in like wanting to do something, and I've talked about this, but it's like wanting to do something for yourself and actually being able to do it. Like, those are two separate things. I think that you can still want to do something and not be able to do it. And I don't mean to be able to do it like I here's the thing, okay? Let me just unpack how I feel about this. I think you can still want something for yourself. But a lot of people don't want to put in the effort to get to that want. Do you see what I'm saying? Because it requires extra capacity versus what you're already trying to face in your own life. Like, I might want this thing really bad. Like, let's just say, for example, this podcast to pop off and people actually start listening. Nobody's fucking listening, right? Whatever. It doesn't matter. But it's like, I really want that to happen. And I am making it happen because I'm putting in the effort and work to do it. But say something like me, for example, I would really like to be more sober and experience things more from a sober lens instead of a drunk lens or a high lens. Like, and it's not that I can't necessarily like do those things, but here's something I was thinking about, okay? This is like a hot thought. But like, doing things that you feel like could involve a drink or a substance and just doing it sober. For example, floating down a river. Okay? Now, I'm just as inclined as the next person to want to have a few beers and float down a fucking river. Okay? Like a vibe. Let's just be so for real. But, why not just do it sober at the same time? You feel what I'm saying? Like the experience, let me just say this. The experiences that we have sober are the ones that we're going to remember the most because we were the most present during those moments. And sure, we all have those funny stories of you and your best friend getting fucked up, Ubering to a city 20 miles away and then having to Uber back. You know what I mean? Like, we all have those moments that are fun that we remember, but the actual moment of things, the more sober we experience them, the longer I feel like we will be able to sit with those and reflect on and go back to. But one of the things I've been thinking about more recently is like, there's a lot of things that I used to do as a kid, like obviously sober, as a kid, but it like heals me to do some of those things now. For example, skipping rocks, dude. Like, fuck. Remember when you were a kid? I'm speaking from my experience. So, but like when I was a kid, I was around so much water due to the Great Lakes, which I'm grateful for. I was in a position where I could access the Great Lakes. And I was around it so much growing up. Like, I was just around nature so much. And to be connected to nature in that way, it's like, I just want to experience that shit soberly because I did it as a fucking fetus, as a child, and hiking and being around the woods and the water and the mountains and all that shit, bro. That shit is clean. It's like one of my favorite things to be doing. And so I just want to do more shit like that, but do it sober, and have that experience and just live and breathe in that because it's what I need. People who are not exposed to nature, just please expose yourself to nature more. And it's so important that we protect the land that we still have. It's so sad. I get so sad about how we treat this world. And I'm not any better at this. But it goes back to like wanting to do something and just not being able to like do it. And it's a real thing. Like, I feel like people are like, you can say you want to do something, but just do it. You know what I mean? But it's not like the fucking Nike slogan, okay? It's not just do it. It's do it plus this, plus that, plus the other, right? Like, I can do it, but it's going to require me to do this thing and me to do that thing. And that's a lot. And it's things that we need to consider. So that's all I'm saying. But back to what I was saying, it's so important that we preserve our lands that we have. And it's so sad to me to see how we've treated this world and how there are potential policies that are in place to take away from our natural parks and take away from these landmarks of beauty and for resources. And it makes me sad because I go back to Henry David Thoreau and John Muir and their teachings of preserving the land and the beauty. And it's just, fuck, dude. I want it to be preserved. And I think it taps into the bigger conversation of like all of these bad things, quote unquote, are happening in our society. And it just feels like we can't do anything about it. I just feel like I'm helpless. I'm helpless against the fight of some of these things. And I don't know how to contribute myself more because it's just so loud. I hope I get to meet people one day who are like, bro, your words changed my life. Like, and maybe I'm just like saying that to feed my own ego, but it's like, I don't know. I want people to know they're not alone. I think that's my greatest hope with all of this, is that somebody somewhere doesn't feel alone. And I want people to have like a guide. Like, I want people to have a guide through life. And if this is me preserving my life, it's me preserving my life at this point. Like, I'm documenting everything that I'm going through like it's a fucking diary, which honestly, you guys, try it. Like, let me just say, try it, because it's helpful to just speak out loud and hear your self-talk, which sounds fucking crazy. I understand. I understand. But the amount of reflection you're able to do by yourself is fucking immaculate, bro. And that's why I just feel like artists, you know, like people who are really real and authentic in their lyrics, but also like, I don't even want to just say that, but I think also just like in general, they're able to preserve a part of themselves through that creativity. You know, like, I made this song when I know exactly when I made this song. You know, I was doing this, that, and that. And I was at this point in my life and all these things. Like, that's cool, you know? And so I think I'm excited to look back on my own shit one day and be like, damn, like, that's how I was at 25, 26. And be proud of it. Like, it's probably so bad right now. It's probably so bad, but I feel like I'm gonna just like look back on my shit and I'm just literally gonna be like, wow, bro. Like, if it weren't for 25-year-old me just finally having the balls to fucking do some shit like this, you know, I wouldn't be this 31-year-old talking today or whatever. I don't know. Whenever I reflect back on this time in my life, but I think that will be cool. And even beyond that, you know, like into the way, way future, which I've been thinking about that a lot more too. Like, who the fuck am I going to be when I'm old and gray? And, you know, like, what am I think we should think about that. Like, I think nobody wants to think about getting old. You know, nobody wants to think about having gray hair and wrinkles and fucking being ornery. But like, bro, I think it's important to think about like what you want to be when you're older. Like, I was at a concert, you know, was it Friday? Yeah, Friday. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I went to this like outdoor free concert, and it was one of those concerts that like the community gets involved. It's like, you know, people of all walks of life are there. And this particular band that was playing this 80s, like true 80s music, bro. Like, it was very much like there was some Bon Jovi, there's, you know, ABBA. Like, they do a lot. They do a wide range of 80s music. And it was great. But the whole community comes out, and it's people of all walks of life. And I saw this old man, actually a lot of old people. I don't even want to just point out this particular person, but they were so into that shit, bro. They didn't give a fuck who's watching. They're dancing. They're living their life. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you know what? I know that's right. Like, fuck, I'm trying to be exactly like you, bro. When I'm fucking old and gray and don't be giving a fuck no more. Like, yes, bro, I'm trying to be out and about and getting it in and like, you know what I mean? Just like enjoying my life. Like, I think we should spend more time thinking about that too. For sure. It's unscripted episodes. You never know where I'm going to go with this shit, bro. It's just, I let my mind run, and it's a lot of fun, but I don't know how much of it is, you know, first of all, related to one another, but also relatable to the people who are potentially listening to this. And I hate to say this because it just makes me feel like I sound arrogant, but I feel like it's important to my own healing journey. So you can say what you will, but I just need to get it out and say it while no one's around. And sure, will I release it? Maybe, probably, potentially at one point, but I shouldn't have to feel guilty for saying how I feel like I deserve to feel. Like, we're so quick to judge somebody, whatever it may be, okay? Especially in regards to people wanting something for themselves. Like, I just feel like we don't allow people to talk about themselves too much because you come off as arrogant or you come off as selfish. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's this weird kind of tightrope that you have to walk because somebody is going to make a stink about it. Like, oh, you're boasting, or oh, you're talking too much about your accomplishments and yourself, and that's not fair. Maybe I'm being insensitive, but what I'm basically getting at is that I think it's really hard for people to like ask and then ask for what they want because they feel like they're asking for too much if they are just asking for what they deserve. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I am the only one who I feel like should determine what I deserve because I am actually taking the time to like get to know myself and get to know what I want out of my life. And I feel like everybody deserves to have what they want as long as it's, you know, like true to who they are and good with the law and order of things. But I don't think it's fair to I don't think criticize is the right word, but I'm going to use it. It's like I don't think it's right to criticize people who want what they want for themselves. And to be so quick to judge or say they're arrogant or say they're this or they're that because they want those things. I just, you know, that's just, okay. Went on a long tangent there. But I don't think I was ever meant to be silent about me in general, just me in general. I feel like I was meant to be loud. I was meant to stand out. I was meant to do these things. And if I'm not doing those things, it almost feels like a disservice to myself. And I think for so long, and even as a kid and as a teen, I got shut down for who I was. I got shut down. I got shamed. I got just put down for who I was in general. And looking back on it, it's like, damn, like, just people didn't like that I was this way. And a lot of times I just feel like, especially growing up, you know, other people's dislikes of you turn into your dislikes of yourself, if that makes sense. Like, everything that people didn't like about me, I started not to like about myself. And I didn't even think I realized that that was happening to me because I was like a fucking child and just was so influenced by the outside world that I just took it and ran with it. And now I'm like, well, I can't shut the fuck up. Bitch, I can't shut the fuck up. But I don't give a fuck anymore because I'm like, dude, I'm supposed to be doing this shit, bro. Like, I'm supposed to be loud and proud about who I am. Why the fuck would I not? If this is who I am, why the fuck would I not just stand in everything that I am and stand in who I am? Like, it just don't make no fucking sense to me, bro. But it's just hard for me because I was always shamed for that. I was always shamed for speaking up too much or being too loud or being too weird. Like, fuck. You know what I'm saying? Just bullied, bro. Like, damn. But I feel like I'm in such a transitionary phase right now, and I'm trying to balance everything and roll with the punches and see what the fuck's happening and just be open. I want to be open more, I think, is the moral of this episode, whatever this episode was. Dude, I'm telling you, though, the unscripted, you never know where we might go with these. It's just my thoughts running wild and need to get out on a blank canvas, on a blank page. Dude, art is so crazy, too. That's another thing, bro. I fucking love art. Like, any form of art is crazy. And the best way that I feel like I could describe art all around, and when I say art, I'm talking about, I think music is incorporated with that. I think my podcast is incorporated with that. I think physical art, like painting or drawing, is incorporated. Like, I'm just talking about any form of art, right? I think any form of art is you just have so many possibilities with it. And I think you can refer to art as having that blank canvas and just being able to create whatever you want to create. You know, I think that's so cool about art. And I was talking to somebody about that today. I was like, I feel like I always have to have inspiration for what I'm creating, you know? I'm definitely somebody who sometimes feel like I have to model things after other people because it helps me navigate my own creativity, I think is what I would say. And that's been fun though. I mean, with this, I've kind of just been like, fuck it, I'm just gonna put out there whatever I want. But a lot of, you know, my podcasting techniques, I mean, not my unscripted, this is like completely like from my own brain, but like a lot of my episodes and how I've been structuring them, especially like recently, has come from different podcasts that I've watched and, you know, listened to. And so that's really kind of where I operate from, I think. And that's why I think creativity is a beautiful thing. I think people have to create to inspire other people. Otherwise, we'd go fucking crazy. Can you imagine if there's no art in this world? This shit would be boring as fuck. No, thank you, bro. Like, what? You telling me I can't watch fucking anime? Like, somebody animated this shit? They're fucking clean, bro. That is so hard. Like, bro. And we can't be having AI take over that shit specifically. Specifically animation. Because, like, bro. Fucking love me some animation, bro. Swear to God. That shit is art and it's beautiful. But, like, all art is beautiful is what I'm trying to say. Like, it's just... And I would argue that dancing is in that too. You know, like, fuck, bro. Like, can you imagine if we weren't entertained? We would go crazy. Especially with fucking how we're all addicted to shit. I mean, fuck. But I've been chatting. I've been chatting, babes. I've been chatting a while, babes. Been chatting a while. I think that's like my favorite way to close out an episode. I don't know. I appreciate you guys listening. I think I say that because I know people are going to listen one day. So I appreciate the people who do listen. It's fucking super dope. And you guys are awesome. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next episode, whenever that may be. I haven't done it unscripted in a while, but I'm a little nervous. I got a little nervous with my unscripted episodes. Okay. Ranting, rambling. Bleh. Okay. See you guys next week. Bye.